It's me, Shell, bitch.
Hey gente, welcome back to another week of the It's Me, Shelle podcast. And remember, my job is to make your road to Friday a lot easier. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where in the world you are, mi gente. It's a little more intimate. Who the fuck am I kidding? Happy lunes, feliz Monday. I am so glad you guys are here. I hope you had a great weekend. It was a quiet one for us. We had a lot to do for the fam, but not so much. I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain. Some weekends are more relaxing than others, but we needed to get shit done, so we did, and here we are. So I hope you guys had the same kind of weekend, if not maybe a little more relaxing. So before we start, mi gente, I wanted to kind of have a little icebreaker because I found this online and I just want to go, full throttle. Let's just hit it just for your entertainment.
Hit the snooze button. Based on the research, when you drift back into sleep, it triggers your brain to go into a sleep cycle that typically lasts between 75 and 90 minutes. And when the alarm goes back off,
5 minutes.
5 minutes,
Yeah.
you're in what they call a state of sleep inertia.
Oh, so you're all...
Oh, it impacts your productivity for 4 hours.
Ms. Ma'am, who told you I didn't like the sleep inertia? Who told you I don't specifically make sure I have an alarm go off at 3 a.m. just so I can get 90 minutes of amazing uninterrupted sleep? Are you fucking kidding me? Girl. Anyway, mi gente, welcome to episode 3 of the News Project. Let me see if I can get my clap sounds here because I had to switch some stuff around. Where are we? Where are we? And yes, it is season 3 of the News Project, and we usually don't set the scene because we like to get right into it. But I will say our usual because it's our mantra, right? So if you're getting ready for work, already at work, or walking into your humble abode, let me help you forget that it's Monday and we're about to bochinchar, okay? Just a little bit while getting into these current events, on this great Monday. So I'll give you some time to get ready. And as I also just flip over, my sounds are all over the place. Hold on. Let me see. I got you. Current events talk like butter. That's right, like butter. So let's bochin chat because that's what we're here for. Okay. Some events might be, or some current events or some stories might be, a little more, but we have to talk about them because they've definitely impacted a lot of people and everyone's talking about it. So what I will do is I will start with, you know what? Let me switch the view. It might look a little too small. I don't know if I like it. There we go. It's still a little small, but they don't deserve to be so big anyway. So the daycare in the Bronx where the child has died. This is the story that's rocking the entire tri-state area right now. And for those who don't know, El Divino Niño is a daycare in the Bronx with the most Dominican name on the planet. By the way, there were 4 children that had to be treated with Narcan for fentanyl overdose. And unfortunately, one of these children, a 1-year-old male, passed away. And that is so, so unfortunate. Investigators have searched the apartment and they found fentanyl all over, like the mat where the children slept on. And they actually even found a trap door in the apartment, as well as like a kilo. They said, and the initial story said 1 kilo press. But as I kept digging and digging, I found out more. And also, stuff has been made public now. So I'm sure everyone is also aware of what's going on. But they found a kilo press. And usually, if you didn't know what this is used to pack, just large amounts of frogs. I don't want to say the word because I just don't want the YouTube gods to come at me. So a bunch of frogs. Let's call it frogs. Rugs. You know what I'm talking about. So they arrested one female the caretaker, Gray Mendez, and her husband's cousin, Callisto Brito. I think he's hyphenated name. However, I don't want to give them too much airtime because they fucking suck. They're horrible people. However, her husband's cousin was renting out one of the rooms in the apartment. What's so crazy is that this daycare passed every single state inspection, including a surprise inspection just days before this incident. And again, like I said, I kept going down the rabbit hole and following the story every day. And I found out that not only was there 1 kilo press, they found the trap door, but they also found 3 more kilo presses. And before this young woman called 911, she made 3 phone calls, and 2 of them were to her husband, who actually made it to her place or made it to the daycare, ran through a back alley with 2 garbage bags filled with who knows what before she even called 911, and these poor little babies were suffering. And now her husband can't be found. The feds are still looking for him. He can't be found. And I'm sure he's probably in the Dominican Republic by now, while his wife and his cousin look at life in prison. But this is such a devastating story. It is so unfortunate. And it's such a disheartening story, right? Because a daycare is a place where we all take our children, those of us who don't, can't be stay-at-home parents, they have to work. A lot of parents are like, well, I work in the daytime and my husband works at night, so that way we can always be with the children. But sometimes it doesn't work out that way. Schedules aren't as perfect as we want them to be when it comes to work, unfortunately. And we have to drop our children off at daycares. And this is a place where we trust the people, the facility, the other children, even the other parents in the community, because you kind of create this little bond with all the other parents as well to just protect our children. And it's really sad that it's become a place of a horror story. I know a lot of parents wish they can stay at home with their children, bless those that can, but it's fucking hard. And this is really, really sad that the only option parents thought they had and their children were safe, this story kind of destroys all of that. So it's so unreal, you know. These dumb fucks just didn't, you can't have a fucking daycare and treat it like a trap house. That's fucking disgusting. And I'm just sending just good energy, a lot of love to all the families that were affected. And I'm just so sorry for the loss. Now, speaking of Divino Niño, la Iglesia Católica, the Catholic Church, celebrates El Día de San Miguel, or the Day of the Archangel Saint Michael, this Thursday, September 29th. And listen, you guys know I don't do religion. You guys know how I am. You know my vibe. However, I used to celebrate this every year while growing up, and some old habits die hard or they don't die at all. And in my case, it's just a memory. All right. I don't celebrate it. I just remember every year celebrating it while growing up with my mom. So if you don't know what this is, which I'm sure a lot of people don't, I don't know if it's only the Dominican community that sort of celebrates Dia de San Miguel. I know it's a Catholic thing as well, but usually the Dominican culture, there's a Hora Santa on that day, Thursday, or a day of prayer. And there's like cakes and snacks and just a shit ton of sweets. And, all the children from the community and their families come over to your place. And you kind of just sit there and you pray and then you eat a shit ton of candy. That's literally how I remember it. Exactly how I remember it. I know the Catholic Church probably has a different interpretation. I don't know if I think it's definitely a different interpretation, but hey, that's just my memory. I just wanted to drop a little something about me, part of my upbringing. All right. So just to remind everyone, the internet gods, this is fair use. All right. These are not my images. I've definitely collected them from all around the internet, so much so that I don't remember from where, but I have to give credit, and the credit is that this is fair use. So there we go. I don't want to forget to say that. All right. So on other news, my goodness. So this guy right here, Brian Johnson, aka Liver King, the man with the most basic ass fucking name on the planet, worse than fucking Jerry Smith. All right. He gets hit with a whole bunch of lawsuits. Bloomberg reported people discovered Liver King, right? Same as I did. He was a shredded fitness influencer known for eating raw organs. And now everyone's saying, hey, this was a lie. So if you didn't know, Liver King is shredded. And like Ice Spice, he just came out of nowhere, okay, and instructed the world to work out and stick to a primal diet, which made many believe that they could attain the same ripped physique as a Liver King by taking his infamous ancestral supplements. Now, come to find out, these supplements give no nutrients. It was a lie, Steven. You can only assume that it did not do, that his supplement and his style of living and health, let's see, how can I word this as PC as I can? His advice when it came to health must have been a farcity because now everyone and their mother is suing the Liver King. Why? Probably because they don't look as ripped as they want to because it was all a lie. So back in December, Brian Johnson made a YouTube confession actually, where he admitted that he was taking roughly $11,000 worth of steroids a month. And as you can assume, many people felt betrayed. Oh, how dare you, Mr. Liver King? How dare you lie to me? Many people felt betrayed. And now he was hit with one lawsuit, $25 million, claiming that he used deceptive marketing for his ancestral supplements, which he says have generated more than $100 million in sales a year. And now he's in deep shit. And Liver King is just one of many health and wellness influencers with millions of followers who are being sued over the alleged misleading or false product claims. And I think this goes to show you how much influence social media has on people. People sat here, looked at this man who literally, honestly, he came out of nowhere. As soon as I saw him, I was pretty intrigued because I was like, who the fuck is this guy? Where did he come from? I had no idea. I was like, no, this guy must be like a plant. Like, who is he? And everyone started following him, buying all of his supplements. Come to find out, it was all pretty misleading. And I feel like that's what a lot of influencers do. Unfortunately, you do have a couple out there who are, a handful who are just like honest and give you their honest opinions and who are honest, real people. But then you have people like Liver King who are not, unfortunately enough. So that's where we are. Everybody's suing this crazy, crazy man. And the crazy thing about this is that Brian Johnson is still out here eating raw meats and sucking on bull testicles while he does pull-ups. And to me, it's just like, I think his ancestors are looking down saying, you know what, my man, this is it. We're proud of you. Proud. Ah, yes. They're so proud. All right, mi gente. So you already know I don't like the summer. And fall is officially here. And I saw this video and thought, yeah, my time has finally come.
Grab your big scarf. It's the first day of fall.
I'm obsessed. Yes, Lenny. You're so right, Mr. Kravitz. The fall is finally here. And on the first day of fall, it was raining all fucking day. But we did get the cool, crisp fall weather. Okay. So out here, it is official in the big NYC that the fall has arrived. Shenanigan Kenobi and I were just walking around chilling, and we happened to enter a Marshalls. Shout out Marshalls. Shout out to Marshalls. No, I'm not being sponsored by them. However, if you see this, hi, how are you? I'll be honest, I promise. So yes, Shenanigan Kenobi and I were walking around. We walked into Marshalls. And, as we were walking around, kind of picking on some stuff, we realized that it was filled with Halloween stuff. And listen, I love Halloween as part of the It's Me Shell trifecta. Bleh. It's part of the It's Me Shell trifecta, but I just thought, damn, so soon? Like, it's not even a month away yet. We literally have a good, like, 5, 6 weeks until Hallows Eve is here. So it's kind of bittersweet for me, right? So the bitter is because this means that the year is almost over. And that shit flew right past me, all right? Like these fucking lantern flies all summer. And I didn't even notice. And it's sweet because the trifecta begins, like I always mention. I'm so annoying with that, but I don't care because it's who I am. It's part of me. So whatever. The trifecta begins. The weather I enjoy is here, finally. The season is changing, which means that foliage is beautiful, and I love to see nature just run its course and change as it's supposed to. I love to see that. And I get to wear all my cool fall attire, just like the wonderful Lenny Kravitz. And it's also letting us know that it's time for us to prepare for our own new season. You know, everyone is kind of changing. So take these moments in, mi gente, because they fly right by you. I got to keep looking at my sound pad here. It is time for a new segment that I call Moist Message. And this moist message segment came about during the very last episode with the hubby and I. I don't know if you guys heard that horn, but let me tell you, I read somewhere that NYC is going to start putting like noise cameras or some shit that so people are going to start getting summoned and tickets via mail or whatever it is for making excessive noise like honking. So fuck you, person in that fucking car. I'm telling you, sometimes in New York comes out, but it's okay. But anyway, we're back to moist message. And like I was saying, this moist message segment came about when the hubby and I did an episode, the very last episode. For some reason, I was super tongue twisted during that episode. And like most masterpieces, this segment was created. Now, this is a segment where people send me some of their thoughts, their stories, however they feel, whatever they want to share. And I share it with you all because it's part of current events talk, I think. It's good bochinche. So, sometimes it's juicy, hence the moist message. Sometimes it's raunchy, and it's always totally newsworthy. All right. So this week, the message I received was from Anonymous. They did not want to say who they were. And it's an interesting story. So let's see what gems they have dropped. And in the spirit of the It's Me Shell news project, I decided to share it. It might look a little small. It might look a little tiny. Let me see if I can full screen it. Still a little small. Put my little head there. All right. So I'm going to read it out loud for you guys. Long story short, I met this chick at a bar in the city. She was a nurse. We hung out for a bit. She invited me over. We were doing what we had to do, and her man walked in. He looked at me dead in my eyes, shook his head, and walked out. The chick jumped up and left me in her apartment alone and ran after her man. I had no clue what was going on, so I just grabbed my shit and took the stairs all the way down. She reached out to me a couple of days later and told me that her and her man were swingers, and she didn't tell him what was going on, so he was mad. And he called me and said never speak or reach out to his girl ever, ever again. And I was just left trying to figure out what I did wrong. I had so many questions for Anonymous. But after I reread the story again, I want to say like 2 or 3 times, I said to myself, okay, let's dissect. So they met at a bar and she said, all right, let's go back to my place. That's not weird. That's what people do out here, right? They're like, OMG, come back to my place. At least that's what Sex in the City has taught us. I've never watched an episode, don't come for me, but from all the clips I've seen and from all the girly girls going, oh my God, it's like such a New York story and life. I'm like, okay, so yeah, brought him back. It's like the normal thing to do, apparently, right? But once her man walks in and she runs out to chase after him, leaving a complete stranger in her house, that's when I had a lot of questions. First and foremost, Did you contemplate at any moment stealing any of her shit? And this is to the person that was left in the apartment. Did you feel like, maybe I should steal her shit? I mean, she just upped and left you in there, you know? I don't know. That's just question number one, right? Because there's no way that I would leave anyone I don't know in my house at any time. I think that's crazy. And I'm sorry, I don't know who you are. I can't just leave you or all my personal belongings in my home. A little crazy. And another question I had was, did she just jump up? Was she naked? Was she dressed? Did she just run after her man as is? Was she butt ass naked? Because I didn't get that from the story. But I want to know. Inquiring minds want to know. Was she naked? Was she dressed? What the fuck was going on? I want to know. Because if she left in a state of panic and, she ran after her man, then you're lucky. Because that means that this was meant to go down that way. Who knows if her man would have came in the apartment? How would it have turned out for you? And lastly, isn't there like a swingers code of conduct? No, honestly, like, aren't there rules, like don't fuck anyone without telling me unless we were in agreement type of thing? I don't know. It seems like this chick was a loose cannon and she was just plain old messy. And the fact that he had your number to call you and tell you not to talk to his girl anymore, I don't know. It seems a little sus. It's a little suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. It's a little weird, but I'm glad that you were able to tell the tale. I'm so glad. As far as what you did wrong, I don't know. It seems like you didn't get to do shit at all. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. Mi gente, I don't know, people do crazy things. But if you have a story or if you have a moist message that you would like to share, you can always be anonymous or let me know who you are so I can give you a shout out, whatever. Some people have no shame. Do what you got to do. It's fine. We're not here to judge you. I'm just here to make the story better. Fuck that. I would also love to hear from you. Let me know. Do you want Coma to do this segment? Because she can really add the fuck out of this. I initially thought I wanted her to do it. And then I said, you know what? I think I want to do this on my own. On my own. But this is the problem when I do things on my own. I'm just like, oh my God, I have so much freedom, like so much artistic creativity, so much creative freedom here. So let me know what you want from me here. I would love to hear from you. I can definitely have Lacomai do all of this. DM me, email me, send me a voice message. You know what to do. You know how to reach me. All right. All right, mi gente. So it's about that time. We've reached the end. Like always, I want to thank you so much for sharing your precious moments with me. I hope you enjoyed this month's news project, just talking shit about a whole bunch of stuff. And I'm sure you already know I love adding my own little twist to it. So thank you so much for tuning in every Monday. This was going to be short and sweet. It is the beginning of the week. It has been a very, very hectic month, as all Septembers are. And it will be a very hectic October as well. But, we're strong. But I want to remind you before I go to make sure you follow me on Instagram at itsmi.chelle and click the link in my bio. It'll take you to all my other socials. You can send me direct voice messages, emails, so much more. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel and click on that notification bell so you don't miss out on any content. And don't forget to go check out the It's Me Chelle Patreon channel. All links will be in the description because as always, I'm out here trying to make getting to Friday a lot easier. Bueno, mi gente, like I said, you've reached the end of It's Me Chelle, and you can catch It's Me Chelle every Monday just to make sure your week starts off on the right foot, or so we can just say fuck Mondays together, because why not? Wherever you stream your podcasts and, of course, on YouTube, all right? So, Funny Gals Talk. The Funny Gals Talk series episode will be out next month. Make sure you keep an eye out for that. I am working on new merch for Lacomai's merch corner. Some cute stuff. So make sure you go check that out too. La gente of the It's Me Chelle podcast has spoken. I asked in one of my Instagram stories, I want to say like maybe 2-3 weeks ago, if they have a movie that they would like to vote on for Shane and I to review on our S&M episodes, our S&M shows. And the winner is, let's see, can I get a drum roll? No, not that one. Not that one.
You're fired.
To myself, I know. But the verdict is in, and it is Mommy Dearest. Yes, it is Mommy Dearest. It is a cult classic. I hold that movie near and dear to my heart. I have a lot to relate to, whether it's past, present, and possibly future. It's a little inside joke for those that know. No. If you don't, it's okay. Don't worry about it. You'll find out soon enough. However, yes, we will be reviewing Mommy Dearest. It is an interesting movie. So you don't want to miss that. So make sure you follow me everywhere. Just do it. I don't want you to miss out. I might pop up on AMP and play some cool music for y'all, some tunes just to help us to get through it all. All right? And like always, I hope you have an amazing rest of the week. I can't believe that it's Monday. Again. Ain't that some shit? I know, but I'm glad to be spending it with y'all. So as always, peace and love. I'm out.
I see you. It's me. 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 Shell.